So this is Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we're going to take a look at some 3D printed game inserts. Now some games have really good storage inside of them. Everything fits nicely, but a lot of times you're looking at it and it's like, man, this would be nice if this could fit sleeved cards in it, or it'd be nice if I could put all the expansions in this because there's room for it in the box. The tray just doesn't allow for it. And it was some of the 3D printed game inserts that I saw online that got me thinking about this. Well, some of the first ones that I ever thought about were things for Unmatched that really aren't inserts, but just things that help everything fit into and stay in these boost boxes better. I mean, you got these guys here that hold fighters in there really cleanly. These. And I'm going to show you all the ones that I show you. I'm going to put links to all of them in the description. These were some of Sam Crane's creations here that started with these initially. Just this basic one that held a couple there. Fits in the boost cube really nicely. It makes it way cleaner for storing everything. And then we have to have different ones to store different fighters in here because they don't all fit in those. But to look at one of these others is the tray here for the T-Rex. It was designed by a user on the Restoration Games Discord group. This was a really nice way to be able to fit T-Rex in there because there's no other way to really do anything with her. And then someone else had created this little stand here for her so that she's a little less tippy when you put her on stuff, because that gives her some, more support on her foot, which is nice. And these are nice, but what about just actual, alternate game inserts? Well, that's where I first saw here with Fuego. It was the actual designers here that put me onto this tray that had been designed. It was just a simple little tray in there. Gives you room to have this little tray for your flames. You can put sleeved cards in it really cleanly. It has room for everything else. And you can see it's just a simple little tray there that fits in it. And just makes it really clean in there. Not that Keymaster's original thing wasn't nice. It just kind of all fit in there loosely in it. But the box for this was always really great. But this got me thinking about other things. Like what other games can I find things for? And one of the first ones that came to my mind was actually like Settlers of Catan, because you have like Settlers of Catan and the expansions. Most people have that 5 to 6 player expansion, and that really didn't fit in the box well. But when you get to the 3D printed stuff here, you can fit all the expansions in it cleanly. It even gives you little card trays and little things to hold everything. These do fall out while it's rocking around there, but they can't leave the area of the individual tray that they're in there. It gives you room for, everything to be stored in it. I printed this in red since Catan does red. But it's really nice. This one is wider than the printer, so it had to be printed in 2 pieces and then kind of glued together. Another one like that I thought of was Downforce. I only have the one expansion for Downforce, but there's a second one. And you can see it has room in here for that one. But this lets you put that in there and fit all this in nicely. Now, one thing I did run into with Downforce, when I first printed this off, I found a different one that was really nice. I mean, just really awesome pieces, but the problem is that it was designed for the yellow release out of the European release, and it doesn't fit the regular restoration box. So that's a little disappointing. But it still gives you good places to put everything, you know, ways to hold the cards and everything. One other thing I noticed when I got this, the regular power cards look like this. I didn't realize that the expansion I bought was the, speaking of ALO, their version of it. And the card backs are a little bit different on the power cards. Not a big deal. I don't really see any difference in the actual track itself. It's just a weird little quirk there that the card backs are different between them, which is not something I would have expected. And then I was able to fix the game that had like major storage problems, and that was Queen by Midnight. If you remember from my video, I had to put everything into Ziploc bags because there wasn't room to put it in there. Wasn't room to put it all in there if you had it sleeved. And the publisher was like, yeah, there wasn't room to put it in there. And it's like, well, looking it over though, there is. You just didn't make your insert right. So this is so much better here. We still have room for the clock tower, and you can see the clock tower is actually, this is two different pieces that hold the clock tower. They don't really have to be put together for it to stay in there. So it does fine like that. But this gives us these trays that hold all the cards. But you got this for holding stuff in it. You got, and this is a really simple tray here. This is not a complicated model, but it holds all the cards in it. They all fit in there. I haven't gotten the expansion or looked at that, but I suspect, I don't know how many cards are in that. To know if you could manage to fit the expansion in there or not. So yeah, I mean, that original insert, you know, it held the clock tower fine, but just didn't have any room for, you know, for the sleeved cards. And this lets it fit in there, and now I don't have that little bit of lid lift that I had when I was using the Ziplocs, and it just looks better. I mean, this fits really clean. This might be cleaner than, if it's just so much cleaner than what came with it. And when I kind of ended up like, I wonder if I could make one. So I tried to make one. My blender skills aren't great, but I tried it. And it was for Marvel Splendor, which doesn't play a whole lot different than regular Splendor. And just that I had sleeved the cards, and to get the sleeved cards in here, I did not do like Snuggles and try to take the heat gun to it. I just cut it and taped cardboard around it there, and that fit all the cards, but it's just not a nice looking thing. This that I came up with is so much better. It fits everything in there nicely, and it even gives you trays to hold everything, to hold your cards, and to hold all of these. You could actually like literally use these during the game if you felt like it. And I think for our first attempt at like trying to make a alternate game insert, this is a pretty good result for me, since I've got like no experience at that and very, very rudimentary blender skills. So yeah, so these trays, we're just throwing all these trays out. And so once again, for all these games, I put in here everything from Unmatched, as well as the other ones here. I'm going to put the links to them so you can find them and print them on your own. Like I said, this is so much better on a lot of these. Some of these, like Catan and Downforce, let me just compress it down to a single box, you know, instead of having 2 or 3 Downforce boxes and a couple of Catan boxes. It's just one box now, which is kind of like what the whole point of the Unmatched storage system was. Those are good. And then there's others like Queen by Midnight and Marvel Splendor that just let me fit the sleeved cards in there, since the original game didn't have room for the sleeved cards. So anyway, if you found this video interesting, you can give it a thumbs up and a like. You can go down to the comments section and let me know down there what you think. And you can also subscribe to my channel. Make sure to catch everything that I post so you don't miss anything. This is Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we'll see you around next time.